Good morning. This is John from the Springs Mennonite Church. And welcome to another day and, in fact, another month. You know, summer's over. Wow. I don't know about you, but that's not what I was hoping to think about. The other day, my wife says, John, I think summer's almost over. I said, yeah, you're right. But now, guess what? It is. So I want to take 2 weeks, this week and the next, to talk about a question, a simple question. Who is Jesus? Now, before you get thinking about that, I'm not going to go to probably the standard places to answer that question. I want to think about it in a little different way. Think about it in terms of how did Jesus reveal who he was? And so, in order to do this week, I'm going to be looking at various passages in John chapter 8. And next week, I'm going to be looking at various passages in John chapter 9. So keep in mind the theme for this week and next week is who is Jesus? So let's start in John chapter 8 with these couple of verses. Now, let me give you the context here. A woman starts off the chapter, a woman's been caught in adultery. And then after that event, people around are listening and he keeps talking. And verse 23 of chapter 8 reads this way. You are from below, I am from above. You belong to this world, I do not. That is why I said that you will die in your sins, for unless you believe that I am who I claim to be, you will die in your sins. So the people demanded, who are you? Now, maybe you've never asked the question, who is Jesus? Maybe you've grown up in an environment where church was fairly normal and going to Sunday school was a part of it, or your parents were a part of it, and you just heard stories and you never really thought about it. Maybe you're someone who's never heard about Jesus. Never heard, don't even have a clue, except there's something about Christmas that he shows up for, and maybe Easter. And then again, maybe you're someone who's just downright angry at him. And if you are, I just want to say, he understands that. Yeah, God knows that you and I are people, humans that experience all kinds of emotions and events and thoughts and actions in our lives. Some of them aren't very good. Some of them certainly aren't very nice. Some of them might be euphoric and it's wow, I feel like I'm walking on the top, on the clouds of the sky. And some of them may be, when am I ever going to get out of this hole? So we start here with Jesus commenting. And he said, I am not from below. I'm from above. You belong to the world. I do not belong to the world. And the people listening, and perhaps if you had been one of them, you would have done the same thing. They said, well, who are you? What does it mean? I am not from below, I'm from above. Below what? Above what? I mean, of all the crazy things to say, this would have been on, near the top because Jesus is standing right there in the physical flesh. interacting with this crowd. And we'll have more to say about those interactions as the week goes on. But he says, I am not of the world, but you are. You know, if I'd have been standing there, I kind of probably would have thought, okay, you look to me like you're part of the world. I mean, there you are. Here I am. Um, you look like a human being to me. It's hard to grasp that God would choose to send his son into human flesh. I can understand a lot of things in this world. I have a lot of knowledge about a lot of stuff. But if I think about that one real hard, it gets real complicated. And so he goes on to say that since I don't belong to the world, that is why I said that you'll die in your sins unless you believe I am who I claim to be. Well, who's he claiming to be? Well, all he said so far is, I'm from above, you're from below. Kind of sounds like he lives on a high hill and we're down in the valleys. But he's not talking about physical stuff. He said, you're from the world, I'm not. Well, that leads me to think this guy's a little bit touched up here. I mean, you are from the world. I can see you. But he wasn't. He was from God, unlike any other. And he says here's a really, really important phrase. He says, this is why I said that you will not die in your sins if you believe I am who I claim to be. Now, why does it matter if we die in our sins? Well, there's a whole lot of stuff about that in the Bible. But basically, what it is simple. If you're a sinner, if you've done things against God, whatever they might be, thoughts, words, actions, whatever, big, small, significant, somewhat insignificant, if you've done that, then when the time comes to leave this world, you won't stand in God's presence. Jesus is the one who is the door to the kingdom. Well, you think about that. As I said, I'm going to talk a little more about it for this week and next. Hopefully, you'll think about who is he? I like the phrase, who are you? Who is Jesus in your life? Well, while you're thinking about it, if you have a need or a concern, let us know. We'll do whatever we can as fast as we can to help meet your need. Just give us a call. Until tomorrow, I hope you have a really great day, and I just hope that God's blessings upon you in a really, really special way. Thanks for listening. I'll be back tomorrow and share another thought.